Okay, so today's lesson, this is not so much a lesson in terms of learning something new. It's really just to show you a few sort of visual piano styles, because what we're going to be doing in the next few lessons involves being able to write music, write piano music at least, in a few different styles. So, we're going to begin to explore a few different styles of piano accompaniment, as it says. Show two, all right? Basically, in a cut time, sort of a jumpy two feel. All right, for fast tunes, you'll generally have the left hand playing the root on the beat 1 of the bar, and the 5th on beat 3. The right hand plays chords off the beat, and it sounds like this. This is exactly what these 2 bars sound like. Notice it's cut time, and it makes sense because when you're feeling this music, you're sort of grooving, you're bopping your head, tapping your toe to the half note. Notice the half note in the left hand. You're not going to be tapping your toe to the quarter note, da, 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 or head banging to the, bopping your head to the quarter, da, 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 da. You're actually feeling that half note pulse. That kind of stuff. So that's a basic show tune, theater music kind of sound. The second one, Latin. In this keyboard accompaniment style, it says the left hand plays offbeat chords. Okay, so we're now in 4/4, moving a little bit slower, and this part sounds like this. Now, this, of course, isn't indicative and characteristic of all sort of Latin music. Latin music is really a broad term to define salsa and merengue and bossa nova and calypso and all kinds of stuff. This is a very, very basic, sort of watered down version of the style. But really, the left hand also going between the root and the 5th of the chord. Okay, but doing it in this specific style. And the right hand is obviously doing these offbeats to give a sense of motion. All right. Okay, moving on. Jazzy. Again, very stock sort of jazz. In this style, the right hand plays chords in a sparse fashion, and the left hand often takes the role of the bass, doing a walking pattern. If you've ever played bass guitar in a jazz band or played any kind of jazz bass, this will look very familiar to you, a walking bass line. So in this jazz style, the left hand, it literally is emulating what a bass guitar would be doing, or an upright bass would be doing, and the right hand is simply doing a little bit of a rhythmic interest with the one and offbeat shot, and then holding a half note for the second half of the above the bar. Okay, ballad, last one. In this style, the right hand plays block chords and the left hand plays chords as an arpeggio. You might find this in sort of a love song or anything that's more slow. All right, so even though it's still 4/4 time, this one is characteristically more slow because we're arpeggiating through this big wide chord on the left hand. It really is all notes in a C chord, right? If you look at the notes here, you've got a low C, a C there, like the root, the 5th of the chord, the root again, another C, E, etc., all the way through. And this one just sounds nice and flowy. Oop, if I played the right note there, that'd be nice. You get the idea. You might expect some nice, beautiful, loving kind of lyrics above that kind of style. All right, your quick little assignment for this page, it says choose one of the above styles and write a piano part using the chords below. Now, you'll notice that here you have to change chords from a B flat chord for 2 bars, an F7 chord for 2 bars, and a B flat chord for 2 bars. In the previous lesson, you learned how to basically write block piano parts using half notes, and now you're going to write the same chords but using a specific style. So you're going to choose one of these and go between a B flat chord, an F7, and back to B flat. A few things to notice, all right, depending on which one you choose. For this number one, the show 2 part, take note that the left hand is alternating between the root of the chord. This is all C chords. All of these are C chords. Between the root and the fifth. Root, fifth, root, fifth, root, fifth. And the right hand is simply just playing the chord in any inversion. The inversion that's on the page here is G, C, E, right, or a second inversion chord. I could have done a first inversion, C, E, G. I could have done C, E, and G up top, like that. Or I could make E the lowest note and use E, G, and C. I could do, right, and that would sound like, different inversion of the right hand. It really doesn't make a difference which inversion you use. But essentially that's how that one works. For the Latin, pretty much the same thing, right? The left hand's moving between the root and the fifth, root and fifth. The right hand is playing the block triad. For the jazzy, right hand's playing the block triad in whichever inversion. The left hand is almost always, very often, moving from the root and walking down the scale. Root, down, 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 root, down, down, down. And if in the next bar I had to change chords to, like, let's say an F chord, my left hand would jump up to the F note on the first quarter note and start walking down. F, E, D, C. That would be the sort of standard way to write the jazz left hand for a jazz style. And for the ballad, the right hand is, of course, playing the block chords again, same old stuff, and the left hand is just arpeggiating through whatever sequence of eighth notes to make it sound nice and flowy. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly this inversion, these sequence of intervals. It can be, and what I was doing there was just going C, E, G, E, G, C, G, bum, 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 B, bum, bum, bum. Instead of what am I saying? Instead of traveling all this distance from way down here in the piano, I can just do this, use this section. Okay, that's certainly fine too. So choose one of these styles, and go from a B flat chord for 2 bars to an F7 chord to a B flat chord. In this F7 chord, your left hand, of course, is going to start on the root, like it always does in all these styles, and you're going to make sure in your right hand to include the 7th note of the F chord. All right, give it a try.